How would you like to make money wholesaling a piece of land for real estate without having any money in the deal? That's exactly what you're going to learn today with Adam Southey and Justin Sliva. If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name's Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. Hey, you're checking in with Fearless Flipping. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I know I did. Stuffed my face, then drove over to Arizona, so it was a great weekend. I hope you had an awesome one also, and I hope you are ready for what Adam Southey and Justin Sliva are ready to dish your way from Casual Fridays REI podcast. These guys are the land experts in a different way than what you saw when Mark Podolsky was on the show. They are doing things slightly different. And yes, just like what you saw in this title, they helped me make $9,000 in under an hour. You're going to see exactly how. Make sure you listen to the very end to hear exactly how what they taught me when I interviewed them for this show, how I used that to be able to wholesale my first real estate deal, which ended up being exactly that, a piece of land. So before we get into this, I do want to give a shout out to Gil Fleming. Gil posted on our YouTube page as I'm reading this. He says, my question, how did he know that he would add more value to the property than what it was selling for originally on the open market? This was from a video that we posted, and the title of the video was 2-month house flip from start to finish. It was an incredible flip here in Fresno, California, where really very simple, but made a huge difference. The guy made a great profit. He's actually a good friend of mine and a mentor. His name is John Bustamante. But Gil, that's a great question. And what I want to do is take the opportunity to dish you and our listeners and viewers over to fearlessflipping.com. And if you fill out that form on the very front page, you're getting a very special free ultimate guide to real estate investing and how you can learn how to evaluate what a project is going to be worth after it's fixed up versus how it's fixed up now. The numbers are in the deal. That's how you determine if there's a deal. And that's how John in this video made this one of his maybe 50 flips of the year and made a profit on just about every one of them because he knows his numbers. He knows how to evaluate that. And I hope that you will go to fearlessflipping.com and fill out that form on the very front page, and you will get an opportunity to learn how to evaluate deals and so much more in that ultimate guide, your ultimate free guide to starting a real estate investment business. So let's not take any more time. Let's go straight to Casual Fridays REI podcast hosts Adam Southey and Justin Sliva. Hey, coming in from Fort Worth, Texas, we have got Justin Sliva and Adam Southey with Casual Fridays. These guys have an awesome podcast all about not just real estate investing, but specifically land investing. And this is really good timing because I've got myself a little land deal going on. So I'm excited to have you guys on the show and pick your brain a little bit. Welcome in, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Kyle.
All right. So as always, I got to ask, what is the most interesting or your weirdest real estate investing story so far in your careers?
I think Justin should probably go first. Do you want to tell him like a good one? And then
Yeah, we'll start.
yeah.
We'll start with a good one. You know, the way we buy and sell land, we use direct mail and we send out blind offers. And I had a guy call me out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, why haven't you checked your mail yet?" So I checked my mailbox, and I'm like, "Oh wow, I got this letter from this guy in California." Well, he had sent me a deal back on 135 acres in central North America. I would say kind of one of the central states. And he said that, you know, my grandpa bought it back in the 40s, left it to my dad. My dad left it to me and my brothers, and one of my brothers has passed away. And he goes, "It's in Nowhereville. There's nothing there. I've been there one time in my life. I just want to get rid of it. And you made a cash offer. I'm willing to sell it to you for that price. Can we get it done?" So then we have to go through, and it ends up taking about 3 months, 4 months, because we have to do quiet title. But during that time, I got bored. I just lost my job, and this is like one of my big first swing for the fence home run land deals. And so I drive up there, and I had knew the guy on the tax roll didn't match the name of the owners. And they said the guy had a land lease on it. He'd been paying the taxes on it for like 4 generations. So I drive up to his house, and I'm not a smaller guy, but I walk up to the door, and he pulls a gun on me, and he's
Whoa.
like, he's like, hey, I don't know you, stranger. I was like, well, I didn't know it was that kind of party. My gun's in the car. Can I at least go back and get it? And he says, what? And then he puts the gun down, kind of laughs. And I said, hey, I'm looking at the land next to you. The family's wanting to sell, and I'm here just kind of look at it for them. And he's like, oh, okay, great. Well, we ended up doing the deal. I ended up selling the land to his son
Oh my gosh.
for like a $70,000 profit in 2 weeks. So,
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was a great deal. The property was beautiful, but it was, the people just didn't see the value in the raw land. And that's kind of why we like this niche, is because so many people drive by raw land in the middle of nowhere and they don't realize there's a value to it. And it
Right.
just gets forgotten by the family.
Oh my gosh. So from getting a gun pulled on you to making a $70,000 profit, was it worth
Every bit of
almost
it.
crapping your pants there?
Oh, every bit of it. I loved every second of it. It made me feel alive for a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. And Adam, how about yourself?
Yeah, as mine isn't as successful as that one. I saw on paper, I still made money on this is my most interesting one, not my biggest flip, but I think it was the same area that Justin did that one in. It was close to it at least. And so I get this deal. It's 20 acres. It is way below market value. I mean, I was going to be able to pick it up for right around 16,000. On the extreme low end, this property's worth 60. I mean, I probably could have got 100 for it. And so
Wow.
this is still fairly new in my business as well. So, you're jumping for joy at this point.
Of course.
So the lady says it was her parents, her mom and dad. They've been dead for a while, and she's been paying the taxes on it for a long time. And she's had trouble selling it because it's not in her name. And Justin and I kind of talk about this, and he comes up with the idea to quiet title it. And I don't think either one of us had a ton of experience with quiet title at that point, but I hire an attorney in town, and he's supposed to be the best at quiet title. So we go through this whole process. She swears she's the only child. That's the reason why this works, because she's the only child. She's been paying taxes on it forever. She can prove it. So we go through the whole thing. It just goes over 6 or 7 months. Quiet title gets approved. Judge signs off on it. I close on it that day from her at the attorney's office. I close on it, and then I send out a drone pilot the next day to start taking video. While the drone pilot's out there, a guy shows up at the attorney's office and says, you sold my piece of land to someone else yesterday. And the attorney's like, wait, what's going on? He goes, my sister sold you a piece of land that she didn't have the rights to sell to.
Oh no.
And the attorney goes, well, we did a quiet title. We researched it. She's an only child. You can't be her brother. And he says, not only am I her brother, but she's got 13 other brothers and sisters too that own rights to that land.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the attorney calls me, and he's like, did you know this? I'm like, well, clearly not,
Right.
So what it ended up working out my best interest, because as soon as the attorney heard that, he got the brother and sister's information. He got like 6 of the deeds transferred to me. That way I had the controlling interest. And then so the lady I bought it from, she spent all the money that I gave her that day. So she didn't have any of it left. So the family, I told them, it's like, look, I don't want your property. I'm not in this to steal your land.
Right.
I just want my money back. And so they actually gave me just a little bit over what I paid. So it kind of looks like I made money, but I think, the whole process probably took 8 months. So I probably, with time and whatnot, I lost money, but it was definitely interesting when you think you're dealing with an only child and you find out there's 14 of them total.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. What was the reason that this person didn't disclose that information? Did you ever find that out?
She was estranged from her brothers and sisters, and
Okay.
she lived right next to the property. None of them did. And she had been paying the taxes for almost 15 years herself.
Got it. So she wished she was an only child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, hey guys, welcome into the show. We're excited to really dive in deep here with understanding your business model of buying and selling land. I've had another guest on our show that did it a little bit different than you guys. So, I'm excited to see what exactly your method is and how you guys are winning in this business of land investing. But what I want to first learn is what brought you into this world. Can we kind of hear your stories?
I'll let Adam kick it off because he kind of brought me into this world.
Yeah. So I've been in real estate for, part-time, full-time for probably about 15 years now. I've had some good success, and I've had some bad success. When the market turned, I was sitting heavy on property, and I ended up going broke. And at the time, I've known Justin we've been friends for over 20 years now. At the time, he was a manager for the railroad, and I can barely afford to keep my lights on at that time. So I'm talking to him, and he's like, well, we're about to hire a bunch of train conductors if you want a job riding trains. It'll be the worst job you ever had, but at least it'll pay your bills and get you back to where you need to be. So he was right. It was the worst job I ever freaking had, being on trains all the time. And the whole time I was there, I just kept thinking I need to get back into real estate. It's what I love to do. It's what I want to do. And spend all this time on trains and in hotels. I started listening to podcasts, and I heard, just like people are hearing right now, I heard about this crazy deal of buying land and how you can just get in it at any price, and no matter what your budget is, and build up from there, right? And so that's what I did. I got started. So I my very first deal I ever did, I bought 2.5 acre parcels. I flipped them for profit. And at this time, Justin is like getting really interested too, because we had owned businesses together before, and I'm sure he's going to tell you how he's going to tell you that I tried to do this without him. That's not the case, but
so hold on. We had an Amazon company. You come to me and say, we want to liquidate the company. I'm buying land. I said, great, we're in the land business now. You said, no, I'm doing it by myself. That's how the conversation went.
That's how he remembers it. That's not exactly how it went. But it all worked out the same, because I can't get away from him now. He keeps, it's like that.
I keep bringing him back into other businesses. I'm like, hey, Adam, you want to come join me? Because our land businesses are totally separate.
Okay.
And so I'm at this point, I'm at a different railroad. I'm a general manager for it. And I get he calls me and says, dude, I just got 5 acres back for $500. I was like, if you can get 5 acres for $500, I'll buy all of them you can. Like, I mean, just I've got cash. Let's go. And he's like, you got to figure this thing out. So we started learning about this process, and then, going out and buying property. And the fun thing for me is that, he told me maybe not do it with him so we could do it separately, for us to come back and join together with Casual Fridays. And that's the cool thing about our show is we're both separate from each other, but we talk about our deals and we look at it, and our businesses run totally different. So, I spent 15 years in corporate America as a manager, director, and executive level for the railroad. And then I get that fateful call on a Friday morning, and it's like, hey, come in. Hey, we're going to go ahead and let you go and of go from there. And I just got done my first marketing material, like first marketing campaign on raw land. And we had bought 21 properties with it. And I tell people that I was lucky. I had a little bit of cash we were sitting on, and I was able to buy myself out of some issues, but we turned all those, get that call when I'm moving through that inventory. And I was like, well, I got to either go get a new job or make this work. And the company was originally started for my wife to do at home part-time while I was at work, and quickly became my full-time career. And now it's spun off it's 3 companies wide for us. So it's it's crazy to see how quick it's grown in, 3.5 years.
So, okay. So that was the next question. It started 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, getting closer to 4, right? Just over 3.5 for both of us, really.
Yep. Coming on 4 years.
Adam, do you miss the trains at all?
So it's funny how the lifestyle is really tough, but it's so easy to make money. You just go and don't get hurt and don't get in trouble. So that part, sometimes you do think back like, man, I was just sitting there making good money, but I was on the road 200 plus days a year. And
wow.
So to answer your question, no, but maybe.
Yeah. So Justin it sounded like you were pretty much forced to make a decision with being let go. But at that time, Adam, you had already made the decision to go into land, or where were you at that point?
Yeah. So after I did my first deals, that was it for me, man. I was hooked. And we've just, where we started, it's just so, when we look back now, it's like, well, we've grown so much, like we just said, we were both looking at deals with 50,000+ profit deals. And when we first got started, we were happy to make, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000. And that's kind of what makes us different, is how we've grown into those properties and scaled them from there.
Yeah.
And at what volume are you guys doing deals on a yearly basis?
I'm doing right now between 100 and 150 deals a year.
Wow.
So, and I don't look at anything with less than a margin of about 10 grand, and it kind of goes up there. But I say that with the exception of, I have a book out where we talk about coffee money, investing with that. And we buy from the state and buying properties for $50. And then it's on autopilot where it goes to eBay. And then those eBay properties sell with dock fees and everything. You get about $500 back. So turn 50 into $500, and we do that every 4 days. It's just a machine that turns. So,
yeah. I mean, shoot, $1,000 or 1,000% return on your investment. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody talks the 10X. I hate to say that. Oh, 10X it, but because some can go, but that's what the average is over a couple hundred deals. So, I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying that.
Isn't Grant from your area?
I don't think so.
I don't think so originally.
He's just got a lot of apartments over there, right?
Yeah, Houston. He's been buying up in Houston a lot.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, he's everywhere. It's got that big old corporate jet. He can go wherever he wants.
Yeah,
I could
exactly.
be there in 3 hours.
One day, yeah. Well, that car behind you with the picture, I don't know if either of you own that, but that thing looks nice too.
That's the dream. That's mine. That's sitting there for motivation.
There you go. I like it. I like it. All right. So over 100 deals a year, the lowest that you're looking at is a $10,000 profit. So, I mean, let's just kind of break that down for the viewers and listeners right now so that they can understand, maybe how close they are or what steps they need to take in order to, be doing exactly what you guys are doing. Can you kind of just take us through that process?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool the way this is all kind of morphed. And I mentioned I've spun off into 3 different companies. And like I said, I'm talking my companies, and me and Adam, we come together on Casual Fridays. So that's kind of the educational, follow our journeys and learn from us. But when we got started, my real estate company is called Land Mule. We started buying smaller, cheaper properties, and we kept scaling up. But I realized I was kind of spinning my wheels with the cost of acquisition and getting stuff closed, your photos, and just not turning. So we kind of, I want to call it coin the phrase, but I guess I could say that, bass boat properties. And we look for the property that is about the same price as a Harley, a bass boat, an RV. That's, that 25, 30,000 bucks that 80% of America don't mind spending a little bit of money on if they want to go get a note on it, or they want you to owner finance it. And then we buy it at about 30 cents on the dollar. So what we'll do is we'll look for property that has a market value. I'm going to say 20 acres. It's has a market value of 20 grand. And we'll go in and offer about $6,500, $7,000 for it. When we sell that, we're going to sell it for 18 to 20. We may offer owner financing and try to get our money back out on the front side. But this allows us to make it worth our while. If I can sell one of those a month and I'm profits 10 grand after you take pictures, you pay title, and you do all that, I'm doing 6 figures a year, and I'm working really a very small amount, and I have all this other time. But what we found is the majority of Americans don't have a ton of cash in the bank. That's why owner financing works and credit's where it's at. And so we're like, well, how can we help somebody build up the funds, or how do we become that partner for them? Because when I first got started, I needed to scale fast. And luckily I had some cash and I was able to leverage some things. But I remember walking into a meeting trying to get $1 million for a deal, and the guy's like, I just don't know you. And that resonated with me, because you hear of all this private money. Oh yeah, just raise private money, private capital. It's out there. It's all, money's everywhere. Well, money is, when you start creating deals and people know who you are, money comes to you.
Right.
Money's attracted to deals. Money's attracted to great returns. And that's what spun off our Plum investment group. Was we said, hey, if you have a deal, even though we don't know you, let us look at the deal and the merit of the deal. We'll hold title. We'll make you a manager of it, and we'll help you do it. And we'll do it for half the profit. So that kind of spun into that and allowed us to segue a second part of our business. So we had us buying and selling our bass boat properties, helping other people get into it. And then the coffee money method that we put together, hey, go to the state, buy them for $50 and sell them, and build up your funds. For $500, you're buying 10 properties. Well, that 10 properties turns into 5,000 really quickly. And then now you're getting to that bass boat property pretty easily, and you're doing it on your own time.
Really quickly, you've hinted at it and you've given a little bit of information, but dive a little bit deeper there with that coffee money. I want to hear that process.
We do have that available to your listeners. It's going to be on our page for y'all. It's on sale at $7.99. It's a quick book. It's easy to read, 21 pages. But what that does is we go to it talks about going to the state of Arkansas's website. They have a central office of state lands, and you can buy tax deeded properties, or that have gone through auction, just kind of sit there. People call them over the counter, struck off list, that type of deals. This is the same thing. You go in and you make an offer, and we say, hey, go make a $50 offer, see what you get back. And you're buying a quarter to a half acre piece of property. You're going to put it on eBay or Craigslist, and you can list it in your website and do these other sell sites. But for me, the automation is great when I can schedule all of them on a Sunday and have them scheduled out for the next month. And it's has a $400 doc fee. I have $50 in it. I'm going to spend $70 at eBay. So I'm now on the property for $120. My $400 doc fee covers all that, and it's no reserve, and it's a real auction. These people are excited because they're buying a piece of property for $15 or $50, or sometimes it goes to $1,000. And then you have your $400 doc fee on the backside, and you just deed your rights to them.
Wow.
It's just a neat little niche that a lot of people are like, oh, that's not worth your time. Well, if I'm a single, stay-at-home mom, and I'm looking for a part-time gig, and I can go buy 10 pieces of property for $500 and then schedule that out over the next month, and I'm making $2,000, $3,000 profit a month. Where else can you do that?
And you're saying you're doing this all from the comfort of your computer.
House. Yeah.
We own land all over the country, and we've never Well, very rare. I'd probably say 95% of the time we don't go to any of it.
Yeah, the ones we told you we went to, we just kind of thought it would be fun to do. Out of the, I bet the 600 deals we've done, I've looked at maybe 10 properties in person.
Wow.
And the great thing, I want to comment on this too, on this coffee money real estate. So people initially just heard us say that we're spending 10, 15, 20,000 on property. And you can go to state of Arkansas. They make it super easy. Everything is online. You can go, you can buy web property for $50, $100, and you put it on eBay, you sell it on Craigslist, right? Because a lot of people say they don't have money, they don't have time, right? There's all you got to do the first time is go pick the properties, and then you list it on eBay or Craigslist, and it'll sell itself, right? And you sell it you can sell it on no reserve, just have the doc fee that covers what you're doing, and you're making money. If you can't, everyone can come up with $50 to $100. We've seen people that we know that were flat broke. They still worked and came up with $100. They bought their first property.
Why is state of Arkansas?
It's the ease. There's a couple other states that have that, but this one's it's just for active ease in the conversation piece. You can do this in most states because they have the over the counter, the struck off list. They're all going to have different rights of redemption, time periods, and things like that. So, it's important to learn that for each state. Arkansas makes it really easy because they handle that before they deed it to you. They have so you have a 30-day wait period, while they're notifying the owners or anybody that has interest. Then they have a 10-day redemption period. Then you get the property, and then there's a 90-day litigation period. So if you get through all that time, it's yours, and you have to just run through there. So we sell it on a quick claim deed. If you want to do quiet title action, get it ready in a house or something like that, you could do that just to clean up the title. But for us, we're getting it from the state in a bundle, and we're moving our rights to somebody else after it's already went through it. It's just that transfer of the documents and knowing how to get the land and making it available for somebody really cheaply.
But it sounds like, we could go deep into this, but it sounds like our listeners and viewers should probably just pick up that book if they're interested in figuring out how to automate this.
Yeah. And like we said, we had it on sale for your listeners for $7.99. They just come to our page and look at the tab for Fearless Flipping, and they'll get it.
We will, we'll throw that onto our show notes too. So let's make sure to get that link from you guys, and we'll put it on the show notes. Hey, Fearless Flipping community, we are taking a quick break from the podcast to talk about Airbnb. For those of you that don't know, I have built much of my residual income around Airbnb. Despite a lot of other investors being really excited about long-term renters, I was not. I saw an opportunity with Airbnb to get to my goals faster, to get more cash flow, and to pay off my houses quicker too. So instead of being really happy like a lot of other investors are with $200 to $300 of cash flow every single month, I've turned my renters and rentals into over $1,000 on average of cash flow every single month. So if you want to learn more about Airbnb, my systems, where I pick my Airbnbs, how I communicate with guests, maybe you've already got Airbnb as a business on the side right now, but you want to take it to the next level, I am absolutely here to help you. You can book a free consultation with me about Airbnb. Learn more by booking at fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and you get me for 30 minutes for free. That's right, 30 minutes absolutely free. That's once again fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and I'm looking forward to helping you conquer Airbnb investing. So you've mentioned a couple terms here that I just want to make sure our audience understands. The quiet title and then the quick claim deed. Can you just kind of explain that so that everyone understands what exactly those are?
You want to take those, or you want me to?
I think you can probably explain it better.
Okay. So quiet title action is a court summary that says, hey, we're going to go in, and typically you run the information in newspapers for a set amount of time, and then a judge says, hey, if nobody's come up, then they sign off and they make a judgment. It's a judgment against your property. A quit claim deed says, I'm quitting all my equitable interest in the property and assigning it to you. And it gets confused a lot with quick claim. So you'll have family, a lot of times it's used like if there's a divorce, hey, I'm going to sign my rights over to you, and I hit it. But you'll see families, I'm just going to do one of these quick claim deeds just to get it done quick instead of doing a warranty deed. And the term is actually quit claim. I'm quitting the property and quitting my rights to it. And it just says, hey, I'm not warranting the deed. I'm just saying everything that I own, I'm passing to you.
Okay. Yeah. That's a big difference. Quick versus quit. So,
yeah.
That was a pretty good explanation.
You like that?
That was a good explanation. I'm going to give you some props on that one. There you go. Golf clap.
I feel like I wrote a book on it.
I don't know if I would have been able to explain it that well. That was quitting. I'm going to start using that, using the hand gesture too. I don't know if people can see me.
You got quick and then you got quit.
Yeah. Get rid of it.
For those people that are listening on the podcast, they have no idea what the hand motions that we're making.
Okay.
Cool, guys. Well, so let's kind of break down, if you can, how much time are you putting in your business every, let's just call it every week? And how many employees or automations you have going on to help with taking time off your plate?
Yeah, so that's the great thing about this business is the how much time it doesn't take, right? So there's a lot of pieces to it, right? So you have to we mail, we do blind offers. That's how we get our deals. But we're not mailing them ourselves. We're not stuffing envelopes. We're not merging everything together, right? We have deals with mail companies that do that for us, and they do it very cheap, cheaper than we could ever do it ourselves. So that's first part is finding where you're going to mail. That's a little bit of time, and then you send it off to someone else to mail, and then you close on it through a title company, so someone else is closing on it for you, and then you list it with a realtor. Someone else sells it for you, and then it closes again through a title company on the other end. So time-wise, there's not a lot that goes into this. I mean, we both work this very hard, and I would say 2, 3, 4 hours a day.
Yeah, most of my time is spent with either Casual Fridays or that looking at other people's deals and going through Plum. But yeah, he's exactly right. The way we've set it up is we use professionals in their craft and leverage that for us. Instead of hiring somebody that's on payroll full time, I can look at a deal and know pretty quickly with 15, 20 minutes whether I'm going to buy it or not. Then I send it off to title. They're going to do I do very little due diligence. I want to make sure it has access. That's important to me. I want to make sure the person trying to convey it to me is actually the person trying to do it. Then I'm going to check the topography to make sure it's right. So on a deal that comes back 5, 15 minutes, I know whether I'm going to go through it or not. Then I send it to title. They're doing the title work. And so now I'm managing just kind of, hey, this property's in this county, in this state with this title company. I just need to make sure I know where it's at. And my CRM keeps me in line for that. And then, from there, we use proven land agents in certain markets. If it's somebody that sells the type property we sell in a state, I use them. If they do a good job, I keep using them over and over. And so they know when I call, hey, I've got another deal. Hey, I've got 3 deals I'm putting up on your plate this month. They take the pictures, they get them listed, and they handle those phone calls, negotiating, and they know where my bottom is, and they call me when it's ready to go.
So what I'm hearing is really that you guys, through practice and through seeing deals, have got it down to a system where you can evaluate something very quickly. And then from there, it's just about having great teammates on your side, not necessarily having employees or that kind of stuff. It's just about having that title company and the agents. Mm-hmm. How do you find the right title company, the right agents to be able to help you out?
Well, typically it starts with Google. I start with Google most time, and then I see who's going to respond back. And then once you start working in certain areas, I mean, I've worked in 35 states, and so most title companies will work most counties in a state. And so if I have a good experience with that title company, I just keep calling them back. Hey, do you work this county? Hey, do you work this county? Sometimes it costs me $30 more because they're working out of county, but that's not a big deal. If you like working with that person, you already know them. They know your business. They have all your docs already. You're not having to re-explain, hey, I'm the manager of this company, or I'm the member, or, and things like that, just that eat up time, just pointless emails. You just run through it and you just keep using the same people, and you build kind of your market areas that you go around. But a lot of times it starts with Google and running, hey, title company that works here, give them a call and talk to them and see what they have to say. And if they have a clue when you talk to them, then you keep moving.
Yeah, it's the same with realtors too, because you can go online, these land sites, you can see every realtor that's selling property and you see their listings. Mm-hmm. You know which person knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about. Some people will have a listing. It's like 40 acres right outside of town. Call me. Well, I don't want to work for that person because they're not selling the dream. Then you've got other realtors that they'll write an entire story. So someone sees your pictures, they see your drone video, they read the entire sales copy, and now they're sold before they ever actually even drive out there. And those are the people you want to work with.
That's awesome.
Another step that I'll take, I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
No, you're good.
You can go and pull up the solds, and I'll look in a market and see who the guy is that's selling everything, because he's got a buyer's list, and we can leverage his buyer's list because he's sold properties. He has leads already built in, and it allows us to tap into that local market a little bit easier.
That's perfect. That's awesome. So guys, you really have found a way to be able to use just the internet and your own systems straight there from your computer and from your home. So the only thing that I really have a question for is, Adam, you mentioned there a few minutes ago that you need to figure out where. And so, you mentioned the state of Arkansas, but how else is there a way to determine where you're going to do this?
Yeah. So Justin and I are going to have different ways we tell this. Every time I'm looking for a new spot to buy land, I literally ask myself the question, where do I think it would be cool to own some land right now? That's really all it is to it. And a lot of times, like, I'll go, you know what? Oklahoma sounds like a great place to own some land. And then I'll just go online and I'll go to like Lands of America, Land Watch, all the major land websites. And then you just start looking through. You're looking for me personally, I'm looking for a specific type of property. I'm looking for an area. Oh, so let's say Lands of America. I'll just put in Oklahoma, right? Let's just say I wanted to buy land in Oklahoma. I just type in Oklahoma in the search bar. Everywhere in Oklahoma that there's land for sale, it's going to come up. You start looking for the type of properties you want, which, for us, like Justin said, the bass boat, recreational looking property, trees, maybe a couple hours outside of a town, close enough that someone can get away for the weekend without driving hours and hours away, and just really start digging into what works for you. And there's a price range we're looking to also. Like we want market value, that $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 an acre, because we know that we're going to come in lower than that. And yeah, just keep diving in.
All right. The first thing that comes to mind is where are the most cows, so I can just buy some land.
So he hit on some things there that it makes it we have a method to our madness, and he kind of I think he brushed across it because I think he does a little bit more than that. And so like I'll look at recreational property, and if you look at pricing long enough between the recreational property, you'll see that the pricing between 20 acres and 100 acres is pretty much the same per acre. And the reason we talk about buying that bigger piece, because if you're the guy that goes back and wants his buddies at the coffee table, or at the water jug at the office, and you're like, oh yeah, I was out at my cabin property this weekend, you got a little bravado there. That's why we call it the bass boat. Oh, I was out fishing on my bass boat, or I was out on my RV, I was out riding my Harley on Twisted Sisters, so they have a little bravado there. And when we look at this, we say, okay, hey, 15 to 25 acres that's selling for under X amount of dollars, which will give us that price per acre in this state. And then you're going to see everything on the market that's there by county. And we say, okay, we shop by county. And so we're like, okay, hey, this county has 4 or 5 listings and it looks pretty. So then we'll check and say, how far is it to the close major metropolitan area? It may say it's within 200 miles. Like, okay, now it's a 3-hour drive. I get off work at 5 on Friday. I can be there by 8. I can leave Sunday afternoon. I can get home with the kids. Now we have a cabin property. It's got trees on it. It's got some topography. I build my cabin. Now we're selling the dream. Now you're kind of like, oh, you mean 3 hours away from my house, I can have a cabin property in the woods that I can afford? And that's what we provide, is that we're selling that dream. So we look for that property. There's a lot of people that trade desert land, and it's great. It's profitable. What I found that sells the fastest are these 10 to 15, 20 acre properties that are sub 30 grand, and they just fly off the shelf and you can't keep them. You'll buy them for 10. Guy comes in, offers you day one, $25,000. You say, sure, take it. Go on to the next one and just keep churning those out.
I love that because, when I hear selling and buying land, and if I'm a listener or viewer right now, it's like, it's not the sexy, before and after pictures like a flip and things like that, but you really are selling still a before and after. You're selling hey, here's the dry barren land, but here's what you could do with it, and here's the dream, and here's the vision. So guys, that's really cool. I like that a lot.
You're never going to see, unless they want to reach out to us, you're never going to see a TV show where we're buying and selling land. But they can reach out to us, just find us and we'll be happy with it together. But you're just not going to see a TV show about it. So people will think it's just raw land. But if you see some of these drone videos and some of these pictures we get back, Justin just got one back in New York that'll blow your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, and that sells it. People don't even have to go look at it in person before they've made their mind up.
Yeah. Hey, never say never. There was, I'm sure truckers never thought they'd be on TV, and then there was that like ice road trucker or whatever.
Yeah,
never say
true.
never.
Yeah,
well, hey guys, I'm first of all, this has been great information. Really, I've learned a lot myself, but I'm ready to learn for a specific case study right now that's going on in my life, and I would love to be able to present this for our audience. And then when we do air this show, maybe they'll know exactly how this turned out. But either way, this has been such a learning experience for me. I flipped a house, and the house is now in escrow. That's going well. But next door, there was this lot. The entire time I'm thinking, what am I going to do about this thing? Because it was trashed. There was a homeless person living there. And so eventually I got to the owner of this lot, and instead of him cleaning up, I just said, what if I just buy this off of you? And I had a buyer at the same time. So giving some numbers for our audience, he was willing to sell it for $11,000. My buyer was ready to buy it for $20,000. I'm thinking, this is awesome. I just took a flip, and right next door just made an extra $9,000. Well, a few things have come up that have been speed bumps, and this is maybe where we can try to figure out how to maneuver me through this, and in doing so, maybe we can get a few of our listeners and viewers asking you some more questions too. But at the end of the day, what has happened here is that there's a lot of liens on this property. And because of that, I'm not really sure what is an option next. If this thing is just dead, do I go and try to, continue with this? Basically, it was bought in a tax sale in the last year and a half. And most title companies here in town either don't take on tax sales, or they need I believe it's called a tax title certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a long process. Meanwhile, my buyer doesn't have a lot of time. She needs the land now. And my seller doesn't really want to spend money on a tax title. And so a few people have said, well, just go down to the city and record it that way, but you got to get those liens taken care of. Well, my seller is not really wanting to, if they're going to get rid of the land, then they want to be able to make some money. And if they're paying for all these liens, then, they're kind of losing a lot of their profit too. So I'm kind of like in this middle section of how can I, as a wholesaler of this land, create a solution for both sides so that, yeah, they both are happy, but at the same time, I can make a little money as well. So what do you guys suggest there? What would you be doing next?
So it would be important to me to know exactly if the liens were still valid liens and what I could get to fall off, and see if I could get lien releases against them. Tax Title Services is a company that offers services for this, to see if they can help clean up the back end for you and get your title clean. Because ultimately, with a muddy title or murky title, you're not going to be able to convey it full ownership of it, because there's always going to be something hanging out there. And they own the property; they're kind of responsible for that. And now that y'all got it brought to light, now you've got to figure out how to get them cleared. If the people aren't going to show up or take ownership, you may try something like a quiet title action. See if an attorney they know a way to get it out. But all of that, it's going to take a little bit of time. You may see, we did quiet title in Oklahoma. We've both done it there. It has to run in a newspaper for it's like 41 days, letting anybody know in that area that, hey, this is going to be there. Texas is a little bit different on time, I think. Every state has a little bit different requirements. So they all kind of adjust what they need for that. But we've got to get those either released or some kind of summary judgment to get rid of it.
Okay. So what you're saying is, if I go to this tax title services and they start essentially, taking care of these liens, they've got to go to the owner of the land though to take care of the liens though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So they'll start cleaning up that. He'll either have to do it out of disbursement at closing, or everybody agrees that it conveys, and the person that's buying it, or you as the wholesaler, may have to come out of pocket with that. I mean, if the lien is actually a valid lien and the people aren't going to clear it for you and they can't get it cleared, then somebody's going to have to pay for that to get it released, so you have clear title.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know how many liens and what the total owed is? I mean, is there enough for it to be split amongst people, or is there a way to like clear this all up?
Yeah. So there's about 4 liens that have shown that equal up to close to $2,500. And then there's 3 that are, it says amount not known.
Okay.
Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah. They either didn't record it right, or it's just they show an interest in the property.
Okay.
Trying to figure
And
out that.
I'm assuming, do I do the research to find that, or would that be something tax title
services would get? Title would do it as well, because they would have to get all that cleared and released before they could actually close. So all of it's going to take a little bit of time. So my concern is the time constraints your buyer's putting you in.
Mm-hmm.
And if she says, hey, I can't do it in 45 days or 60 days, I don't know that you're going to get it done for her in that time.
Okay.
Yeah. My question is, why does she need the land so quick or quickly? Like, what's her hurry to do it properly? If she wants the deal done correctly, then she should wait.
Yeah. I mean, the owner could just quit claim deed to her, and then she could worry about the liens on her own. But when they do that, they're conveying everything to her.
Right.
You may give her a reduced price and say, hey, for $15,000, you can take it as is, where is, and just sign all the rights up to her and just go for there. And it may be a quicker way to do that. She'd be taking on any of the liens or anything like that. And maybe a title report would show her, this is what you're going to get, and we're going to give it back to you off your sales price, but this gets it to you now. And he can convey it at that point, convey all his rights over to it.
Okay. So let me make sure I understand. If I want to do it, what sounds like the best way, if there was no time constraints, is getting that tax title certificate through tax title services. It's going to take a little bit of time, but if my buyer is dead set on this piece of land and all the liens are, disclosed to her, and that she understands that she's going to take that on, then with this other option, you're saying quit claim, which is
The
what I
owner that,
understand. Go ahead.
the owner that owns the property now,
Mhm.
he could quit claim deed it to her.
Her, yeah.
And
But that could also take some time from what you said, right?
no, the quit claim
Okay.
deed, not a quiet title action. Quiet title action is
Oh,
going to take some
quite.
time.
Okay, got it.
Quit
Yep,
claim deed, as soon as he signs the paperwork, it's conveyed to her.
Yeah.
got it.
It just has to be
It just,
recorded.
the problem with that is it doesn't clear the title issues, and
Got
that's where the concern is for me. And that, I mean, getting her the property where she owns it, now she owns those liens too. That's the, get clear marketable title. It depends on what she's going to do with it at the end, like her end uses.
Okay. So the quit claim deed, is that just going down to the county records office?
Yeah, we could send you a template, or you could pull one up on deeds.com, and it says quit claim deed for your state, your county, and then you just fill it out, the boilerplate, the information.
Okay. So it sounds like I need to find out some way, somehow, what all these liens are so that I can present both of these options to the buyer.
Yep.
Yeah, find out what her real motivation is, like, of getting it done so quickly. Because if she really wants the land, it's a good deal, then they'll wait. I mean, they want the property the correct way.
Yeah.
And if it's a good piece of property, she's not the only buyer. I know for you, you probably want to wholesale it, and already have your buyer lined up, but good land, a good price, people are lining up to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna try all these things out. I'm gonna let you guys know how it goes, and then of course, when we release this episode, ideally, I've got some sort of conclusion to this to be able to share with the audience too. So, guys, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with land investing and helping our viewers to conquer land investing. Just how can, aside from going to our show notes and going to Casual Fridays, which everyone should definitely download the podcast, are there other ways that you want our viewers and listeners to be able to connect with you?
Yeah, so obviously the podcast Casual Fridays REI. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube too, under the same name. And we're real active on Facebook and Instagram, so they can always hit us up there.
Perfect. Any last words for our viewers or listeners?
No, I think the biggest word I think you can take from all this is us taking action. And with any real estate, you hear that so much. Whatever you choose, we've tried to take that excuse from you, whether it's buying a $50 piece of property from the state, needing a private funding partner, or teaching you how just about the land niche and getting involved. It's just taking action. And that's what we really hope that your clients take.
Perfect. Justin Sliva, Adam Southey, thank you so much for helping our audience to conquer real estate investing. We'll see you guys later. So this is super exciting. Right after having this conversation, I went and did my research, had a couple other people too here locally that were helping me out, and went down to the county recorder's office, did our research with the seller. We made sure that there was no liens and there was no chances for the buyer to get hit with anything after the quit claim deed was made. We were able to quit claim deed this from the original seller who was accidentally still on title to the now seller who is on title. So we had to do a little bit of moving around there. Then I was able to get them to quit claim deed from the actual seller to the new buyer. We did this all through the county records office and with, I think this is important, money orders, cashier's checks to make sure that everything cleared. And it worked. It did great. And now we've got a buyer who is super happy to be able to move in to this new lot. They're going to put an RV there and they're going to live life there. And this seller who was going to do nothing with this property and was just kind of sitting on it, paying property taxes on it, now has the opportunity to be able to have a check. And me being the middleman, not having to put any money in the deal, using advice from Adam and Justin and a few others, I got to be able to reap the benefits of connecting the buyer and the seller. Did not think that was ever going to happen. This has all been a part of an incredible flip over in a bad area in Fresno that has just been a huge headache. That has been a lot of learning lessons, but there's going to be more on that on Thursday when you check in on that next episode. And really the thing that I want to talk about there and just tease you to make sure that you listen on Thursday is why we get into real estate. What is your purpose? And at the end of the day, are you fulfilling that purpose of what you originally set out to do? So I hope that you are going to listen into that one as we talk about really what that one project has done to change a neighborhood and to help out others, some being humans, some being animals. And so you'll see what I'm talking about on Thursday. Thanks again to Justin and Adam. Their show notes can be found at fearlessflipping.com/casual Fridays. Again, fearlessflipping.com/casual Fridays. Make sure to check out all of the links that we have on there that they mention in this episode, and also go check out their podcast. It's a great one, and we hope that this has helped you today to conquer real estate investing. We'll see you next time.